One of the Facebook ads bought by the Russians to influence the 2016 presidential campaign. Our senior media and politics reporter Dylan Byers has exclusive reporting on this. Dylan, tell our viewers what you're learning from your sources.
Here's what we've learned, Wolf. At least one of the ads that was bought by this Russian troll farm on Facebook was a Black Lives Matter ad that was targeted specifically to the cities of Baltimore and Ferguson, Missouri. Obviously, two cities where by that point in either late 2015 or early 2016, two cities which had been the site of some of the largest and most violent protests over the police shootings of African American men. This is the first example we have to date of where these ads were specifically targeted. Again, this is one ad out of more than 3,000, so we shouldn't infer that every single ad, or most of the ads even, were about the Black Lives Matter issue. But what it tells us is that the Russians who bought these ads were sophisticated enough to understand that targeting a Black Lives Matter ad to the communities of Baltimore and Ferguson would help sow political discord, which we believe was one of the motives here with these ad buys.
I want to get into that a little bit more, Dylan. This ad, the Russians actually thought that by using this ad in this platform and targeting these people in Ferguson, Missouri and Baltimore, that it would have a positive, from their perspective, impact the meddling in the election?
That's right. You know, we tend to want to think about this as these ads maybe promoting one candidate, criticizing another candidate. It's not that simple. What we understand, and this is based off of my conversation with my sources, is that the goal here was really about creating chaos, creating a climate of incivility, a climate of political discord and partisanship, effectively to sort of undermine the American democratic project generally, to undermine America's strength at home, also to sort of weaken the argument that may have tempted old Soviet bloc states that Western democracy was sort of the be-all, end-all and the grand goal of where they should be heading. Doing this, basically promoting Black Lives Matter, while at the same time maybe, to other residents of Baltimore and Ferguson, a Black Lives Matter ad might seem as though the group is a threat, contributes to that sort of culture and atmosphere of divisiveness, of incivility, of chaos. And when we look at as more of these ads come out and we understand more of where those ads were targeted, we might begin to sort of get a fuller picture of how Russians thought they could create that climate here in the United States.
And as you point out, Dylan, this is just the tip of the iceberg, this one ad that you're reporting on. Do you expect that we will learn more about how these ads were targeted?
I do, but, Wolf, the way I expect that will happen is through leaks like these. I do not anticipate that Facebook is going to want to leak these ads. They haven't even given the ads over to the House and Senate Intelligence Committees yet, which is something that they promised they would do last week. Once Congress has its hands on those ads, they might want to review them before releasing any of the ads themselves. So it's one of these things, as we see so often in Washington, where it's sort of a drip, 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 and we get more details as the days goes on.
Why won't they release the ads publicly? I mean, they were public information before. Why not release them?
It's a great question, Wolf, and when we put that question to Facebook, the answer we hear back is privacy concerns. I think Facebook also understands that it's sort of a slippery slope when you start acquiescing to government demands about releasing certain information. If you start doing that here in the United States, what other governments around the world does Facebook have to start responding to with certain requests about releasing information? But look, as a civilian, it's a very hard argument to swallow. These ads were public. They did influence voter sentiment during the course of the 2016 campaign. Obviously, they were meant to sort of throw our political system into turmoil. Why can't we see these ads? That's a question that Congress has, and I think it's a question many Americans